Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back. I have been away for a whole month and it was just National Day yesterday. So happy National Day to Brunei. And my next guest, specially flown in from Pakistan. She is an influencer who I follow and she's also done makeup modeling for me. Please introduce yourself, Amal.
Yeah, hello. Yes, if you guys remember, like on TikTok, I post content about my life in Pakistan. So Nadia's here to bring me to discuss about.
The topic today is a topic that I've been wanting to discuss. Tapi I really couldn't find anyone to talk about it with. Amal here is going to be talking about marriage counselling, the benefits of marriage counselling, because she herself has
Yeah.
counselor
Yes.
once in her during her marriage, and we're just here to find out what the experience is like.
Right.
Okay, this is what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Bruneians that I know, kebanyakannya the wife is willing to see a marriage counselor.
Right.
You know, the wives are like, I need help, we need help in this marriage, this kind of thing.
Right.
But the man would usually be like, I'm not talking to anybody. You know, like, no.
It's like an ego attack to them. You mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess so. What else can it be? What else can it be? I don't know. Like you're both in the same marriage, right?
Mm.
One believes we need someone to help,
Right.
you know, and the other just believes, whatever. Believes nothing.
Right.
That's commonly the issue.
Okay.
But I have heard some couples, the men want to see counseling,
Right.
but the wife is like, forget it. So it's usually one or the other one, you know. So
one or the other will give up and one will want to stay, type of
continue.
thing. Right.
Yeah. So let's just hear a bit about your situation. Yeah. Let's just hear a little bit about. Can you just share with us from the beginning how you met your husband and then
I mean that's like a long process to tell the story about how I meet my husband, but basically like we've been married now for like 15 years, mashallah. So up till like maybe like 7th 8th year of the marriage, like things were spiraling down, and we both like stopped and like asked ourselves like, whoa, like what are we gonna do with this, right? So the problem is that both needs to have that realization that I need to go to marriage counseling, right? So but then usually one or the other is not ready to do that. So what used to happen is that when I used to ask the therapist that I want to go to a marriage therapist, like I want to see you, I talk to the marriage therapist, and she would say like, no, first you guys go to individual therapy, right? So before we go to our marriage issues, we need to do your issues first, your personal issues. So I have my own therapist, he has his own therapist. So we
different person lah.
Exactly, different therapist, personal, like your individual therapist. So they were like, before going marriage, you should go to your own personal therapist first.
Ano yung advising you ni orang apa?
The marriage therapist.
She's from where?
She's from Pakistan, yes.
Right.
In Pakistan, right? So she gave us this idea that you should go to your individual therapy. So I went to my own and my husband went to his. So it took us like 6-7 months of our own individual therapy to, you know, therapy is basically sometimes kau dah faham ba? Macam, okay, apa kan kau mau dari aku ni macam tu, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like it's so taboo that you don't know what to do with, like, even if they ask you some question. I remember my initial few weeks or months of therapy, I used to be bangang, macam, I don't know what to give you, I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
Because it was like, they had to pick your brain, they had to pick your emotion, they had to take out whatever is in your system or whatever. Sometimes it's lifelong, sometimes like your generational trauma, sometimes your experience like growing up with your parents and all that. So tani pun natawa because we were young when that happened and stuff like that. So you never opened that door, or you never had that never thought about it basically, right? So I did my individual therapy, my husband did, and then that's when our therapist would say, okay, you're ready for marriage therapy.
How many times did you do the therapy for 6 months? Or so? Is it once a week or
Initially it was every week, once a week.
once a week?
Yeah, and then slowly and gradually it moved to like twice a month. So it was,
Once a month.
yeah,
Kurang
kurang lah.
lah.
It gets lesser and lesser lah once you macam
Improve.
breakthrough, yeah, and ada breakthrough apa. And then the therapist needs to tell, they need to discuss between themselves, my therapist and his therapist, that okay, we're ready for marriage therapy. You get what I mean?
They're in communication.
Yeah, they're not like really talking about our issues. They're just like, okay, are they ready? Are they not ready?
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
So when my therapist gave me the green light, okay, like you are like ready, and then so my therapist talked to my husband therapist, and then they were like, he's not ready, something like that, you know. So it's
Right.
like it's timing as well. So when you go straight to marriage therapist, it doesn't usually work out like that. So
Right.
because you don't want to be like in a marriage therapy and then the therapy attacking him. So it's like it's malu, you feel malu, and you feel like being like pointed at.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to go to first is the individual therapy.
One by one dulu.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah,
therapists.
exactly.
Right.
So, and you need to work on your issues before you go into the marriage. Just see as like we are two individual people,
Mhm.
and we're in this marriage, right? So
Right.
in this marriage, you want to both of you guys to be ready and understand yourself before you want to tackle the
Yeah.
marriage.
Can I ask you, do you recall what kind of questions they asked you
In therapy?
during the individual
Individual
therapy?
therapy. Okay, so initially they ask you about your life, like okay, life story, like okay, yeah, what up? Sorry, speaking Urdu. Okay, this happened, that happened, and then slowly they ask you like very difficult question. Maybe like just imagine there's a lot of layers,
Yeah.
right? First, like they touch this layer, right, and slowly they just go down here, and they ask you like a little less superficial and more towards deep, and then it
Mm.
goes slowly down. It's not
Right.
like a straight away deep down, you know.
Oh.
Step by step, and not everybody knows actually what's here. You have to like peel off, just imagine like a onion.
Yeah.
You're peeling it and slowly peeling.
Yeah.
That's when you understand what's happening, right?
Yes.
Right.
Do you remember the hardest question you got given?
uh she I remember my therapist asking me something very, very weird. They asked me like, have you ever been um childhood, like in childhood, like have you ever been not raped, what do you call this, another one, uh harassed or something like that, like by a family member, or harassed by some anybody, did you remember?
Yeah.
But it was such a blur, it was such a blank, I can't even like, I do not know how to answer that because I do not remember. Nor sometimes, you block that up. Anything that happens in your childhood, you block it. Sometimes you don't even, you can't even recall, or it's just like not there in your mind.
Wow. So you got asked, and then you were like, "What?"
What? Yeah, like, it's like just like ask me. It took me on a surprise. Like what? I didn't think I did, because and I was so defensive.
Yeah.
But I actually, in real life, I don't even know. Maybe I was that I blocked off. So it was but that was like, it was not something important for her to discuss about that, because she was just like asking a very question that just pushed me to the back. But it was not that, it was something else maybe entirely, right?
Right.
So the first few questions that I remember she asked me initially was about my parents, of course. Like they asked, how's your parents' marriage, how are your parents towards you, towards our family, towards other people. So it was it's usually back to your family, your parents, how you grew up. So whichever is your life right now is what you had to endure your whole like growing up.
Ada related.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Right.
for example, like I have trust issues. I have really bad trust issues, especially in relationship, and that stemmed from my dad marrying a second wife.
Right.
So it's, you think that what you're doing now does not affect your kids in the future. It will, for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So
Before you got into the therapy, you didn't think that was anything to do with marriage?
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So it was like it had to like be pulled back to your how you grew up, especially, and how your family handles you, how they treat you. It's such a it it makes you like personality that you have right now is how it builds up from your childhood.
Yeah, definitely. So
Hmm.
maybe before the therapy, you saw your family and it
Yeah.
wasn't anything.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
didn't think much of
Right,
it, blah,
right,
blah, blah,
right.
and then you go in thinking all is good.
Yeah, exactly,
And then it
exactly.
pops up 7, 8 years
Yeah,
later.
exactly. And it's such a like a punch in the face, like what the hell, like
Yeah.
especially in my personal therapy, that you're in awe. You're like, what's this? What do you ask me this question? I'm not even thinking about it, nor I recall it or something.
Hmm.
But then what I learned about in therapy is that listen to your body. Like for example, my therapist, whenever she asks me a question, and if I start tearing up, or my body start tensed up,
Yeah,
itu sudah
something there.
something is going there.
You may
So
not remember or whatever, but
exactly, it's there. So your body reacts to whatever the question. For example, even in our mind, that question doesn't affect you, but then your body is reacting to it. When your body reacts to it, that's when my therapist know, okay, like we're going somewhere.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, we have to like tweak it more, we have to like peel it more, stuff like that. So initially that I didn't understand, like I keep on taking tissues, I keep on crying, but there was no reason why I was crying. You get what I mean? But now, like maybe I'm now maybe like 4 or 5 years into therapy. Whenever anything happens that my body reacts, I know that's it. So sometimes like there's 2-3 questions that I don't understand, like kenapa aku macam ni to, kenapa aku feel like this, kenapa aku like that. I have like 2-3 solutions, and whichever my body reacts to, that's when I'll know.
Right.
That's the reason.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So deep.
Yeah, it is so deep. That's what I'm saying. And
So,
I think I've never discussed this with anybody, but I really think it really helps people a lot. Seriously.
Yeah. And how did your husband end up going?
Okay, so the marriage therapy.
Yeah.
So
Therapy at all.
yeah, right. Therapy at all.
Yeah.
He was ready to go to individual. So
individual,
what actually happened is that we actually went to a marriage therapist once. To that same marriage therapist, we went to her once, and she saw how we were reacting to each other. So how we reacted was like we were not ready to confront each other or talk about it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So she realized that okay, they're not healed. They're not like
They're
not ready to exactly, right?
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, listen, like I need you guys to go to physical therapy, individual therapy, right? And then we'll come back again once you guys are ready.
So she assigned you
Separate therapist. Yes,
not
yes.
even her, right?
No, not her. She cannot be. She has to be the objective one.
Yeah, so you did it, and then when you were ready for marriage counseling,
that's
met
what
her again.
exactly. So what used to happen is that my husband at one point he was saying like, no, I just want a divorce. I just like
we're done.
We're done. Yeah, I'm done. Right? Yeah, he was like so adamant, like, oh, it's enough. Like, I just wanted the divorce. Lepas itu, I didn't push. I was like, okay, let's live our lives. So we were still together. Living in the same house. But
you were in Pakistan at that time.
in Pakistan, yes. So and after that, I don't know. It's like out of the blue, he just came to me. He was like, oh, let's go marriage therapist. I was like,
wow.
So and then he was like, yeah, I think I need to know that I've tried and it didn't work. That if divorced, then
final push lah.
Final push before we divorce. Tapi bukan macam it's the give up. This is not giving up, right? This is like the final try.
Like the final stone.
Yeah, exactly. Final stone to turn before leaving. If I want to leave.
Oh, that's good. So even though the matinya it's over, like I'm done. Tapi more try.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to try lagi lah, and before giving up. Macam macam in things in life, if you know that you haven't tried, you'll regret it later, right?
It becomes something else.
Exactly. So he wanted to try before divorcing. So he opened his heart to try lah. And when we went to the marriage therapist, just imagine after 2 sessions we were like not cool, but like it was slowly like a improvement.
Right.
Even after first session, actually, like we felt much improvement in
the one together or separate.
The marriage.
After you're doing your individual stuff.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's everything. But my therapist was amazing. She's like the renowned marriage therapist in Pakistan. So I don't know if some other therapist it will work out or not. But for her, she's
Get
like,
the right one for you guys.
you know, the question that she asked
Mm.
comparatively to my own individual therapist,
Mhm.
she could break it in one session. Of what she would that my individual therapist will break in like 6-7 sessions.
Oh.
She's that good.
Do you remember some of the questions?
Yeah.
How does the question
Right.
sound?
So like when she approaches both of us, oh sorry, when she approaches both of us, she's very objective. She's never like, oh, you that. She was not like that at all. She was totally like not in anybody's side.
Right.
So she'll ask me like, okay, Amal, she'll ask me even personal questions like asking about my past,
Right.
like like this, what happened to that. So I told her, and then she was like, okay, tell your husband this right in front of his face, tell him. So I told him, right? So that opened up a communication between me and my husband. Like, sometimes like you don't know how to communicate with your husband.
Mediator, bahar.
Yeah, exactly. Mediator, exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of talking to her, she'll talk to me first, and then she'll like, okay, talk to him, tell him this.
Now tell him.
Yeah, to tell him. So like say like start with I feel like, don't say like you or this, you that.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel that when you're doing this, that I'm that, like that.
It makes me feel like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not attacking. You're more so like
you.
explaining, telling them what you're feeling. You're not
Right.
attacking them.
So you would have to also be willing to get personal talking about these things.
Right.
huh?
Right.
When the counselor asks questions, you
Mhm.
just gotta just be honest and talk, right?
Right. But initially you don't. You can't tell now. You it's not built inside you to tell the truth.
Yeah, taros.
You get what I mean? Like we always have this wall in front of us
Yeah.
that it's very hard to break. You get what I mean?
We're not used to talking about it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
it's preconditioned into us that we just don't tell people our feelings. It's just like we have this wall that needs to be broken down, right?
Yeah.
So therapy for me is also like this. It broke my wall. So I'm more transparent whenever I feel or anything. Like I'm more transparent on how I feel.
Mm.
I used to be like very macam kalau orang macam marah ka pa, I have this wall. Macam, okay, no more.
Yeah. And you don't wanna let people know what's going on.
Exactly.
With
It was just. It's not that I knew that I'm doing that. It's just it happened like that.
Yeah.
Auto, right? So now that I know about that wall, like I broke it. Like it's like it's open. I'm open. I'm an open book. If you ask me a very deep question, I'll ask you straight away because I know what it is.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I hope everyone can hear this because the purpose for this whole conversation, Joe, because just to help people see marriage counseling is not going to be easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean,
it's not like a walk in the park. Yeah, let's talk about our personal whatever. Jangan terus. Okay, you know what?
It's not like that at all.
Yeah, and I mean, considering you're an influencer, like I mean, you're used to talking.
Right.
Way, right? But when it comes down to personal issue, this kind of thing, you're not gonna just cakap lah.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
yourself will be a bit reserved about.
Of course.
So, orang biasa-biasa yang andang not even in front of camera lagi tiap. So I want people to know like don't be so hard on yourself. If it doesn't work out the first time, you gotta try something else.
And the biggest point to take here is that don't go to marriage therapists when you know you want to divorce.
Yeah, when you're not open to
trying.
Yeah,
when you're not open to trying, so there's no point of going to marriage therapist.
Abang masa saja.
Benar.
Abang masa therapist saja.
Yeah, benar. Like if you already decide, but enough, I want divorce. So of course, mana menjadi kan? Of course, it won't menjadi if one or the other want to divorce. Mana menjadi?
Yeah, it's not gonna help. Yeah, because I was just mentioning to Amal, because we have seen during when I was doing a master's, right?
Yeah.
We were able to talk to people, the Sharia and all this.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember from where, but they were saying that when people want a divorce, they have to see the therapist, the government kan, kali or whatever,
right?
Times, right?
Yeah.
And most of the times they know it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
So if the counseling there. It's not as effective because yang berjumpa sana kan cerai, andang kan cerai.
Exactly.
Right? Also, the therapist pun there's nothing much they can do
Can
to
do.
help you, 'cause
Right.
you don't want to be helped.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
I think it takes two to tango.
Yeah,
if
absolutely. So
if you're willing to try, maybe it'll work out, the
yeah,
marriage counselor. But otherwise, if one is out the door, no.
you can't pull them back in.
Yeah.
Right? So the amazing thing is your husband decided let's talk.
Yeah. Exactly.
See?
Try. Yes.
Yeah, so what I hear is that even if, let's say, he was fixed on getting it,
Hmm.
but something inside him said, one more try lah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get good luck.
But that's still opening his heart, right? Like
Yeah.
still wanting to try
Mm.
instead
Do
of,
you know how he got to that place, or was
I
it
don't know. He was just like very sudden. Like I was so like uh no,
Shocked.
like ready. Yeah, ready. So much. Okay, he's made up his mind, right?
Oh.
But
Well, that was
I think
serious. It was a serious
yeah,
moment. Like,
yeah, it is. It was exactly it was.
Oh.
But I think giving that space to your other partner to feel it, to heal, maybe
Yeah.
for both of
Time
us to
given
heal.
time.
Exactly, both giving each other time to heal, time to meet our individual therapist and try to understand our own selves before going to the marriage. You know what I see marriage is like, our marriage, the previous marriage that we had, is like, just imagine a broken bridge. It's like condemns rawa, right? So what you're trying to do now in this marriage therapist is trying to build blocks again,
Right. Rebuilding it.
rebuilding everything.
Yeah.
So after rebuilding it slowly, you're just building that bridge. So it is a slow.
Yeah, it's not immediate.
It's not immediate. So when we decided to reconcile, um, we actually felt like we were dating, because it was like back to like getting to know each other, because
Yeah.
once we were having our individual thing, we had our own personality change, you grew and you like changed and everything, right?
Yeah.
So when we decided to reconcile, it was just like he was a different person, I was a different person. So it was so beautiful for me. Is Without the marriage therapist, I don't think our marriage will be where it is right now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, mashallah, alhamdulillah. And
Yeah, go on.
yeah. So what I remember was that my husband, he doesn't know his emotions. I mean, guys, they don't really know much, right? They're not really emotional like how female, like ladies or girls are, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he couldn't communicate his feelings to me
Right.
before, right? But
Yeah.
after therapy, he could understand, like, okay, this is how I'm gonna tell, how I'm gonna communicate, how I'll talk about it. So what used to happen was, before everything, me and my husband, we don't know how to communicate, right? Like, because I don't know myself, he doesn't know himself, right?
2 kids.
Yeah, exactly, 2 kids, and we had kids very young age as well. So
How old?
I was 21 when I had my first, and then 23, and then 25. So 21, 23, 25, I had my kids.
Right.
That was my age. So I was very young, and I got so busy with my kids. I got busy with delivery and all that, right? So
and then it's a new country, like
exactly,
Yeah.
and you feel a little lost, like you're so busy in your kids that you don't know how to communicate with your husband. You just don't know, like, how. I don't know. Just sibok plus tani na paham diri tani wa. Tani na tahu diri tani siapa, and who we are, what we want to be chatua.
Just a lot of things going on.
Right.
And when did you learn to speak
Urdu? Yeah, that was like 2-3 years after I was in Pakistan.
While you were having kids.
Yeah, exactly. Because my mother-in-law cannot speak English, so I had to speak Urdu with her. And my mates, they also cannot speak English, so I had to speak Urdu. So
God, you did
it was forced language.
a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So it was after my third son was born, and maybe 2-3 years, when he was 2-3 years old, that's when, like, after everything settled down, then you're like, oh, what's our marriage? What's up with us? Who am I? Yeah, who are we?
Yeah.
So that's you can ask me other questions.
Yeah, that's amazing. So because I'm just thinking, like, you're so young, being young, atas sudah flying off to
Pakistan,
and then by the time you're growing up, I realize, oh, I got trust issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust issue. Oh my God. So I just very interested in this marriage counseling that you attended. So when she started asking all these things, you got shocked and
Just because we already knew like our personal thoughts and personal
Yeah.
views, so we could communicate better to the therapist.
oh, so are you telling me like the marriage counseling was slightly easier than the individual?
Yeah, sort of, but also
You were
no,
prepped, you were prepped.
we were prepped, but it was also a difficult in a sense that you have to see your husband in a different light.
Oh,
Because
how? What do you
just
mean?
imagine, like individual therapy, you look inside, you look within.
It's only you.
Yeah, exactly. But in marriage therapy, you look at the other person,
Right. Ooh.
right? So sometimes like, okay, let me give an example. We have our own personal views and realities when we grow up, right? Like,
Yeah.
even right now, we have our own personal views. Like, this is what I see the world as.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
see a different world, I see a different world, right?
Yeah.
But what we fail to understand is that everybody has their own personal reality.
Yeah.
Physical reality, they call that. For example, if my husband reacted to me about something, I make my own view, like, oh, he hates me, he doesn't love me, he has another girl, or all that. But actually, in reality, in his reality, he's just angry.
Simple.
Simple. So so that's how when you communicate with people, you have to see your own reality. For example, if you get pissed at me, right? And I'm like, oh, Nadia doesn't like me. I think she's just, she just wants to kick me out of here and blah blah blah. But in reality, you had a problem with your husband. You were just in a bad mood.
Yeah. It's like nothing to do with you.
Exactly, nothing to do with me, right? So I have to give the benefit of the doubt that you had something going on with you. That it was not personal. That it's
not all about you.
Yeah, exactly. Not about me. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like that. That's what I learned in my individual therapy, is that it's all about me, 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 me.
Yeah, like
Out of the me is also like a very difficult situation.
yeah, because we believe what we believe.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it's so real.
Exactly.
Like what you see, what we all see is yes, sudah betul.
Exactly. But it's actually not. Everybody.
There's no confirmation.
Yeah, there's no confirmation. Yeah.
It's confirmed.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's also why your marriage therapist wants you to say to him and him say to you.
Exactly, exactly.
Then you know.
Yeah, exactly. Then we know. That's the biggest factor. Sometimes when you assume so many things, it's better for you to just tell them what you feel.
Yeah. Just
Or ask them. Like, why are you like this?
Oh,
Like,
sebenarnya apa?
exactly. Kenapa kau macam ni?
Yes.
And then sometimes you get answer like it's totally out of your thought pa.
Yeah.
You macam,
like, oh.
yeah, like, oh, okay. So I'm like I'm thinking, I'm overthinking for nothing.
Thinking here.
Yeah, I'm thinking here. He's actually just there. Just right there, and just like it was just like one point.
Like nada. Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I remember what this girl I met. She was so cute, Yang marah lang deh. All this text about the husband, but sudah ditanya, investigate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, no, I don't know. Like she's not sure, in fact, but the story is so amazing. Like
The way she makes up the story whole picture.
That's what she feels.
Yeah,
That feeling is so
for her.
Yeah, it's like major.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. It's so interesting for me, Pulang, because sometimes, because I'm the outsider, kan?
Right.
But the great thing I feel about being the outsider listening in, we can see what's going on actually.
Right.
So that's why I always encourage people, if you are like at a dead end with your relationship, seek that third party with nothing to do with you, not a friend,
exactly,
not a family member.
Exactly.
Forget about that.
That's what they say. Therapists cannot be friends or family member.
No,
otherwise they can't be objective.
Yeah, just somebody who doesn't know you guys at all. Because from their point of view, the therapist, they can actually see clearly you are.
Yeah, exactly. They can be, and they need to be objective as well. They can't be like in one side.
That's the only thing. So it's hard to find that therapist in Brunei. A lot of people feel because they think, oh, you know my cousin, you know my this and
exactly.
that.
Small world as well, gan.
I get why there's a lot of hesitation to see a therapist and all this. Right.
I think one is that, and taboo is as well as marriage counseling. They don't see it as a solution. They see that
Yeah.
as just one step to divorce.
Yeah, like, I want a divorce, so what do I do?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
It should be before you do this divorce. It's like, okay, you have a problem, so we have to see.
Yeah, before it crashes and burns. Wow.
Exactly. But that's the thing, not everybody is ready for that.
No, and I think they're not ready because they haven't heard positive things about it. Wow.
That's true. I've been hearing very bad things of marriage counseling in Brunei. Yes, correct.
Whatever.
I don't know why that is, but I mean, they must have a reputation of as well.
Oh no, but that's the thing. For me, for you, like for people who are in troubled marriages,
Mm.
they're people I know. And they're not my clients. Okay, I'm not talking about my clients. But friends and family
Mm.
who I'm aware they would just be unhappily married
Yeah,
forever
that's
and
that's
ever.
just so depressing. That's not a way of life to be.
I mean, for me, it's like if you're gonna stay in this marriage that you know you're unhappy,
Yeah.
and for years and years, why not try to see if there's anything there?
Exactly,
There
exactly.
must be something there.
Mm,
If
right.
you're still together,
Yeah, right.
unhappily together.
Yeah, exactly.
Alang, right?
You try it. Like maybe you'll find something you don't know. Sometimes
Yeah.
see that's your husband as this one person, but he's actually much more than that person.
Like you don't even know him anymore.
Exactly.
He also doesn't know
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, you're growing up together, so it's like it's always been gonna be a change between yourself.
Yeah.
It's just discovering that part of him.
And I'm sure, like, if the marriage counseling end up, you find that it's over, it's over.
Right.
For me, it's like, then it's all right.
Alright, cuma nak.
Like,
If it's over.
if you've already got all that therapy,
Yeah, and everything.
and
You decide to divorce. Yeah, then it's fine. You know you tried.
yeah, then it's
Till the end you tried, and it didn't work out. So that's fine. But instead of just like running away and just like divorce, so you'll regret it. That's what I'm saying. If you regret it, if you don't even try.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel the people that I know in that situation, they're together so long, but they hate each other.
Oh, that's very
It's like,
sad.
for me, it's like, just see first.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know?
why? What's the reason they hate each other? Maybe there's some sometimes unresolved issues between each other.
Get down to the bottom of it.
Exactly. Sometimes it's resentment. Biggest thing in marriage is resentment.
Yes.
Resentment is so huge. I had such big resentment, but in actuality, it was not his fault. It was just me. You just building up that story. You just keep on building, 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 and it becomes such a big resentment.
Yeah.
So you have to break that down. That resentment.
Yeah.
What is the reason that you resent him? What is the reason you maybe he doesn't help around the house? For example, I'm just telling an example. Yeah, exactly. For example, like, okay, he doesn't help around the house, so that builds up years, right? Like, oh, he doesn't help around the house. I'm doing everything myself, right? So, but then, have you ever communicated to him that can you help me?
Yeah.
Have you ever helped? Like, sometimes
say, I want you to do this.
Yes,
do this. Can you help me?
Yeah.
You need to do this.
Exactly.
I do that.
So that's what I've started learning as well, because my husband he just doesn't know what I want, right? Like, for example, like, okay, I want this, but if I don't communicate to him, he bangang. Ya, macam, I don't know. I've never. And then now what I realize is that I need to tell him instead of macam assuming. I'll tell him, like, okay, I want you to this. I'm feeling overwhelmed. You take care of the babies. So macam
You never did that.
Huh?
You never did that before.
No, I didn't, because I didn't know how to communicate.
Yeah, and you think it's all on you anyway.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So he doesn't even know that I need help or I want help.
Yeah, what I remember telling my clients usually about these things are, men are so simple, like,
It's so simple. That's true. Simple-minded. They have one thought at one time.
Yeah, it's not overlapping.
Yeah, exactly. There's no those multi thoughts. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. There.
I was just sharing with Amal, like, before I became a counselor, how I view marriage and when my friends and whoever tells me about their marriage, I always am totally on the girl side. I'm like, yeah, that guy is I can't stand him, because aku pun macam, I see your point.
Yeah.
But these days, when I start to do therapy with couples, I'm beginning to understand, like, the girl didn't say much about anything, but they
Mm.
get really upset.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all in their head, conversation, and the guy doesn't know what's going on.
Right. You have to tell them actually. Yes. You either
Yeah.
two things you have to tell them. One is if you're feeling a certain emotion, you tell them. Spit it out. Yeah. Yeah. Like why are you feeling this way? Why you are doing this?
Oh.
And second is that you need to tell them what you want them to do for you.
Oh,
Like,
not
I want you to
sugarcoat it.
exactly like
Forget about sugarcoating.
yeah, that's true.
Apa?
So it's just the knowledge that we both need to be open with each other to know what we both want
Yeah.
and communicate it to your husband. That's the thing. Communication is such a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Communication is so difficult because
practice.
yeah, exactly, it's practice.
Oh.
So if you both don't know yourself, how can you communicate? Can't.
You just can't.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sad,
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing with people. They're just not aware. That's the thing. One thing I felt throughout this therapy is that I became aware, self-aware.
Oh, right.
I wasn't aware that I was doing this. I wasn't aware that what I did becomes that.
Yeah.
It was not non-awareness basically. You just like going through the grind.
Just swimming through, right?
Yeah, just swimming through, not knowing anything. Just okay, whatever's life pushing me, I'm just gonna do that.
What I see, Jo, from some of my clients, the wives, they have one belief
Mm.
to begin with is I must be a respectful wife. I must be this good wife who doesn't complain, who doesn't whatever. I don't know,
Right.
some, I'm not
Yes,
saying
correct.
But like they have it in their head when they get married. They want to be this demure kind of.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna trouble my husband with all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can tell you, even myself, I would say that aku sama je masa muda tu. You want to be this perfect wife.
Yeah. You want to be the yang apa tu yang cakap ikut saja.
Star wife who just manages.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
And like myself, how many years? I've been married 18 years.
Oh, alhamdulillah, mashallah.
So like for me, it's like, if I were to hear a new couple and this wife having issues, I will go straight down to it. Like, have you told him that you want him to do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why are you doing everything?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
And no one told them to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
They just believe, why need your wife?
Yeah.
Like, don't lawan your husband. Like, what? What the hell is that?
Right.
Way to talk, but you don't take that from them. You know what I mean? Because I remember saying to one of my somebody saying, you want a man to respect you. You don't get it by being a doormat.
Yeah, exactly. You have to stand your own ground as well.
Like
to have your own grounds, yes.
Yeah. So I just feel like some newlyweds who really want to please their husband and they get it the wrong way. Well, it's like communication is key.
That's the thing. Communication is key, but people do not know how to communicate. That's the thing.
There's got to be some, because you haven't lived with your husband.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a new world, which I always say, they always say, I'm very close to my then boyfriend. They know each other so well.
Right.
Well done, great,
Yeah.
But the community
yeah, of course it's different.
And I find it gets a bit more challenging when
kids come in, yes.
Get in the picture.
Yes,
because now you get this kid, you think you're now a star mom. And you have guy, you don't want to trouble him, and then so at the end, we gotta start realizing, this is team effort. We gotta work together.
Right. That's correct. So about the communication as well, I just also want to point it out. For example, there's a problem that's happening, right? That's arising that you both need to communicate, for example, right? So, for example, I'll just give you this funny example. My husband, he goes to golf.
Okay.
And he's crazy about golf. So he goes golf like initially when he started golf, used to go every day.
Okay.
Right? So I used to get so angry at him, like, where are you going golf every day? Where are you going there? I was getting so banked up and like angry that like, why are you going golf?
Yeah.
And to his thought of view is that I'm trying to clip his wings. I'm trying to stop him from going, right? So what we did was we both spoke our minds. So instead of me pointing him, you this, you that, I say like, I feel that your going golf is taking the time that we have, limited time that we already have.
Okay.
So he goes to office. He has like long hours. He goes to office around 9. He comes back by 7. And if he goes golf again, like
Yeah, it's like
the whole day is like I don't see him.
Yeah.
Right? He usually goes golf in the morning. Which time when I'm sleeping with Lampu Kulima, he goes to golf. Taros office wa. He just
Okay.
direct goes to office. So I don't see him the whole morning and afternoon and sampai malam baru jumpa ba.
Oh.
So I told him that I feel that it's taking away our family time. It's taking our time together. You know,
Right.
I miss you. I'm not saying do not go.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe take a few days. You know,
But you miss him.
yeah, I miss him. Just
miss
take a few
him.
days off,
Oh.
or like maybe have a break. Maybe like one day break or something like that, right? To give that time to me as well. And what he told me is like, oh, you're trying to clip my wings. You're trying to like control me. You're trying to not let me do my own thing. Blah 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 blah. So I know his thought of view. He knows my point of view. Okay. So the solution that we found is that okay, I'll go weekends only, or I'll go weekdays only. So compromise. And it's not always 50-50%. Sometimes it's more compromise on my side, sometimes more compromise on his side. But compromise is also how marriage worked as well.
Yeah. I mean, if he didn't change anything.
Yeah, exactly. If he doesn't change it, yeah. So when it didn't change anything, I would have to like retaliate again. Like I have to keep on pushing this. Like you're not changing, and I need this. You have to try harder.
It would be like as if you said nothing.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then you would feel unheard.
And then again, resentment again will build up. If he didn't listen, if he didn't do action about it, it will. I'll build up that resentment again.
For sure. And when you spoke this way, like I miss you, all this.
Yeah.
Was this during counseling or?
No, this is after this, way after reconciliation and everything. Yeah. No, we couldn't.
Wow.
So before it was just like an attack, like, oh, you don't give time to me, you don't do this to me, you don't do this, and then he gets like, what the hell, bye bye. Like I'm not gonna listen. The same what do you call banter, the same
argument.
Yeah, argument, and then we just don't have a solution because we don't know the solution, nor we can communicate what we want.
Yeah, because you would be so emotional to the back.
Exactly.
You can't even word it.
Exactly. Yeah. And what happens in that moment is that then you feel more detached to each other. You're like, what the hell?
Right.
I'm not being listened.
This one, Andang, I believe a lot of people experience.
Yeah. That's so typical. It's like
especially when you're not newlywed, like 7-8 years. And after all this overwhelming looking after life.
Exactly.
Suddenly it's just like you just can't help but say, you always.
Exactly. Yeah.
It just comes out that way because you can't even process anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for couples out there, okay, if you're feeling like this, don't worry. Ada harapan masih.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're feeling the emotion, it's not like it's over. It's like you gotta learn how to word it differently now.
Yeah, exactly. Word it differently so it doesn't attack that other person.
So you get the result. You want.
Yeah.
If you are able to get through to the guy with the message that you mean to say, which was I miss you.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to spend more time with you. I really hope you come. Stay for whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you can communicate it that way, the guy also feels like, rupanya.
That's what you feel. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if not, they will go away and think,
apa ni ni?
Kan di rumah saja.
Benar. That's it. And then again, resentment on his side will start building up.
Because sometimes when you say, oh, you always this, they in their head also think, bahan dia aku dapat ni.
Artinya, yeah.
Dapat ni.
So you're defensive, yeah.
Padahal no one said zero.
Exactly.
I need time with you.
Yeah, right. That's correct.
Right? So it's not all women young emotional. The guy ends up becoming wrapped up in the emotions as well.
Yeah, exactly.
They also don't get it. They hear different. You say different, he's hear
differently. Yes, that's correct. And also what I learned is that when we both fight, for example, right? We're fighting. We're in this heated argument that we need to learn how to take off.
Take a break.
Yeah, okay, I'm not talking to you about this. Yeah. I'm gonna cool down and then I'll come back to you. That's what we always do nowadays. So before that we didn't know. We used to argue. Something comes up and everything becomes big and you take the past, everything else, and then you jadi basar ba that argument. But what you need to realize is that when you're angry, your emotions just no rationality.
Yeah. When it's
So
a 10, right?
yeah,
You
when it's
call
a
it
10, you cannot rationalize with yourself or your spouse. You cannot.
Yeah.
You just cannot.
You start talking and
You start talking, you're blaming, and then you throw out things that you don't want to throw, and you say something that you regret later. So what we used to do is we'd be like, okay, let's take off. We'll just you take your time, I'll take my time, then we'll come back later.
And your therapist taught you this?
Yeah, it's sort of like this. Yes, it is a learned. I think it was a learned skill basically. So taking it off, and what I realized that after we came back relaxed, and we can think like what's happening, settle down and thinking, understanding your emotion, understanding that person's emotion. That's when you come back together, and then you'll be like, okay, so this is what you think, okay, so this is what I think. So like we explain, and then that's when we can find a solution.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in that heated argument, you cannot.
Some two crazy people trying to
Just-
make sense.
Exactly.
Right?
It doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, so do you think it's also your age, because you start to grow older, then you can actually understand this is what we need to do? Do you think?
No, I think it's because of the therapy. Yes.
Therapy,
It's the therapy.
You could have continued living this way forever.
Right.
It would have just ended. Yeah, if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so it's not about the age; it's whether you learn how to deal with it or not.
It's the therapy that opens me up to my emotions. Yeah, techniques and emotions, and also the marriage therapy as well.
Right. Wow. Okay, that gives hope to everyone. I really think so, because Brunei's divorce rate is really high. Okay,
cheating situation is through the roof. You have no idea. I hear everybody like cheating, divorce.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know why that's happening. That's really, really sad and really depressing.
Yeah, I know what's happening.
What? Okay, tell me. tell me.
I mean, just this. You see, like when we don't learn how to get our message across. Let's say I'm the girl or the guy, and I don't feel heard. My partner doesn't get it.
Right. So
I'm gonna look for someone who gets it.
Yeah, correct.
That's about it. So I feel so alone in this.
Yeah, marriage.
If you can call it a marriage, that kind of.
Exactly.
Of course, I'm gonna find someone else. Of course, there are people out there, Joe, who doesn't care if you're married or not. That's what it's like around here.
Right.
Because everyone wants to be that source of comfort for someone. Which I'm sure, I'm comforting this lonely husband, lonely wife.
Right.
So they think whatever. But I've come to understand like there's something called this word limerick, whatever. I can't remember the
lyrics.
Yeah, it's a feeling that, let's say I'm the cheating party, It's a feeling I get with someone other than my partner.
Okay, right.
Making me feel amazing.
Right.
That. So like I'm happy that there's someone else at my marriage who gets me.
Yeah.
So happy. Tapi bananya it's not real, ba. It's not one is not real. It's not even forever. So salah if you divorce because you like someone else, thinking that's better.
Right.
Bananya another thought. That's why they make a mistake. They divorce, remarry, and sometimes
same thing happen.
It will develop into the same crap.
That's the thing. When you're cheating on your spouse, for example, it's something broken within you that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, there's something there's something that in you that needs attention.
Exactly.
Which you're not getting from the partner.
Yeah.
All because you didn't communicate.
Yeah. Right.
Both are not understanding.
Yeah, and if we don't know how to communicate, then resentment builds up, and then a lot of other things.
You start believing you don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't love me.
Yeah.
But I just think like, hello, Brunei. Let's talk about the Bruneians in Brunei, right? If they didn't get the help they need, memang lah cerai.
Exactly.
It's gonna be over anyway.
That's right. That's correct.
And if there's no place they can trust to talk, and the person they talk to cannot see how to help them, it will be like, okay, it's over, right?
That's the thing as well. What I want to tell you is that in Pakistan, for example, their they're mostly like cousin marriages, for example, right? So if it's cousin marriages, it's the family that's involved.
Oh, is that
So,
good?
I mean, good or bad in a sense, because bad in a sense is that good in a sense that they don't have one foot out the door.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That I'm all in. We either break or we don't.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
you break, there's no divorce. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it means that what you said, living without love and everything else, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
just live together. That, and with us in Brunei is that we always have one feet up the door.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're
Yeah.
not all in. I mean, like, anything happens, I'm out the door.
It's not
It's
secure.
Yeah, exactly, that
Yeah.
attachment. Even though it's a love marriage, right? You love each other, and that's why you get married.
Hmm.
Over there, it's more arranged marriage, right?
Yeah.
Here, but still, you don't have that bond or that uh
Glue.
yeah, that glue that I'm all in.
Yeah, we gotta make this work.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, it's easy to leave. I mean, especially when you're angry.
Yeah,
That's why one of my rules. Well, one of the rules is you don't divorce when you're mad.
yeah,
It's not, you gotta ilangkan the sasakness.
yeah. Actually, anger is on the top layers now. So usually anger is the end product of so many built up things under it.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to find is that what is beneath that layer of the anger. That's just the physical emotion that you're showing, but you need to find out, sometimes, under most of the time, under anger is sadness.
Yeah, of course.
Mm,
Oh lah, huh?
it is sadness.
Betul.
So that there's just so much sadness that you're just angry at whatever's happening.
Yeah, it just developed into like
It's
it's a
anger.
hopelessness as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Macam
It's a
hopeless lah,
hopelessness.
macam, oh, forget it.
Right, that's correct.
That is sad. That is sad. Yeah, so I just thinking of some of my friends, family, clients, yang sedih-sedih ni yang
Mhm.
kencarai apa ni. I
Right.
just feel like if they are able to seek that third party, and even if it's not the right person yet, sometimes therapists on it, you gotta find the one that is suitable for you.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it's not everyone that's gonna be perfect for you. So you just want to keep searching, and like you said, it's not easy, to talk.
Exactly.
And then sometimes some questions you get taken aback.
Yeah.
But you want to be that kind of a person who can see there's something to these questions.
Right.
It's not an attack.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not it's not meant to make you feel you're the wrong person. You're bad.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting at something that let's discover.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Your journey with us.
Exactly. Just imagine like a ball of yarn. It's all tangled up, and that's our brain.
Like the picture here.
Yeah. Oh, ball of yarn. That's it.
That's exactly.
Yeah. So what you need to is just peel off one by one the thread, so that you understand what's going on in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like therapists, when we ask questions, it's not we don't know. Bertanya.
Exactly. We want to know what's inside. Yes, correct.
It could be. It could not be. Yeah, but of course, humans, like if you get offended, offensive, it's normal, right? I mean, yeah. But we want to. But I don't know about other therapists. Okay? But for me, I always believe if you've come for therapy before it all crumbles, memang you still love each other, bah. Memang you're still there for each other.
Exactly.
Like there's always hope. I wouldn't say, okay, done, go sign the papers. That's it, that kind of thing. So, like, if you come forward, macam your husband itu, utaknya kencarai, tapi I want to try one more time.
Yeah, exactly.
That means there's something still by, like you
exactly
throw away
exactly
your family like this.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, for the ones who have divorced, okay, fine, that's done.
Yeah.
Fine, mana saja. But the ones who are still on the fence, on the in it,
yeah, or not in it, yes.
Yeah,
so
you just want to just be sure. And if you're not sure how to get to where you are, you have to mesti search still for the right help.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How did you get the therapist?
I asked somebody, and then that person recommended me the other therapist. This therapist recommended me another therapist. You know what I mean?
And then network of therapists.
Yeah, they know each other, right? Like for example, when I met my marriage therapist, she was the one who recommended me, given me this too. Yeah, she's like, okay, you go to this person, you go to this person.
Tapi the young marriage therapist, how did you find her?
I think I found her online or something like that. Or,
Okay,
yeah.
by chance lah.
I think one of my cousin. I asked one of the cousin who was in this network of therapist. Who was
Because famous jo kan. Yeah, Rena.
yeah. At that time, she was not that it how she's right now. But
Okay.
I met her when she was like coming up there. So she's earning like a lot of money, but she's worth it. I actually want her to meet me for. I want her to be my own therapist, but she said I cannot be yours.
Oh.
Just because she's that good. That's the thing. Like whenever after I finish her session, me and my husband we were like, oh my god, she's so good. Oh my god, we were just like in awe, like how she could take out how much that my therapist could take out in maybe 6-7 sessions. So it means that she's that good. Sorry, it means that she's that good.
Wow. Even your husband was amazed.
Yeah, we were both amazed, like impressed, like how good she was. So I think with another marriage therapist, I don't think we can.
Nothing can stop.
Yeah.
That's fortunate. You're fortunate to find.
Yeah, that's why. I have a good therapist that I'm still seeing even right now. So that's been like 6 years. But I meet her like once every 3 weeks. I still need that. Sometimes, like things happens in life that you just need to like talk it out. You need to express that emotions and no, because you'll keep on changing. You keep on evolving, right?
Yeah, and I don't know about there, but the Brunei, you don't want to tell everyone everything back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Therapist is a good idea. In fact, like someone who won't.
But you know what I realized is that whichever I'm feeling, that the one that I'm telling my therapist is what I already told my husband. So like, you get what I mean? So
some reassurance.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It's because it means that how open I am to my husband.
Okay.
So because I'm telling my therapist this, it means that if I'm telling my husband the same thing, it means that I'm open telling him my emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
Why you still need a therapist?
Oh, sorry.
Why you still need a therapist?
That's the thing. Like just to keep myself in check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you just want to.
Yeah, like it's like I just take that as a personal me time.
Okay.
Right.
Do you require anything from the therapist though, or just a listening ear?
So since she's in Pakistan, so we do like online video call.
Okay, check in saja.
Yeah, like video call for 1 hour, 50 minutes. So she gives me like 50 minutes, and we talk on video call.
Oh, no need to come and meet.
No. I used to come, but you know what happened? Like in Pakistan, like there's so much traffic and everything. Like you just like sometimes you get late, and even if you get late, you still have to pay. Yeah. So I hate that. And then so we started doing video calls, and that's like working really fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Macam maintenance.
Maintenance, yes. Maintenance sessions, yes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, well, wow. So I think we covered quite a lot.
We did cover quite a lot. And one more thing is that learning about boundaries. That is one thing that I've learned about myself is to set a boundary. I didn't have any boundary. That's the thing. Okay, I didn't have any boundaries. Like, okay, I'm a people pleaser. I used to be a people pleaser. So whenever people ask me or do this, do that, I always be like, okay. So that's like not having any boundaries, right? Yeah. And that's not good for us when we're saying yes to everything, right?
Yeah.
So what I learned from my therapy, that's how I learned myself, not my therapist pushing me, is that I need to set up my own boundary. So okay, this line I will not go across, right? Yeah. And boundary, it was such a difficult word for me because I couldn't understand, like, what are you talking about? What is boundary?
It's not in your vocab.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
So learning how to have that line to not cross is such a big thing. Like it helps me, especially in communication with people, right? So like, for example, my family, I used to be like I was such a pushover. People used to push me over, like in my family. But now what I realize, I balas balik wah.
Habis lah.
Macam okay, kau macam ni, kenapa aku macam balas balik lah macam. I just cannot take that anymore macam tu lah, to be a pushover. So that also like helped me becoming a different, like a person that knows what she wants. I used to be so shy. I used to be so macam pendiam, and then now I feel that I'm more open and more like talkative.
Right.
I think I changed as how I was dulu lah.
Yeah, and you would have to if you want to be in a marriage. I mean, can you imagine being in a marriage and you're still this pushover? Let's
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
you would just die.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Start hating yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we have to have that value.
Hmm.
You wrong value yourself.
exactly,
with
exactly.
no boundaries at all.
Right. It's just I wasn't aware this thing.
Because I believe it's because we've been taught jangan kurang ajar. You can't say this to people.
Mm,
But it's not that. It's self worth. Okay,
Mm.
alright. You know.
that needs to be learned. You can't just get it like that.
We're not saying no because I'm being rude. It's no because
Mm.
I'm bloody cunt right now. You know,
Right.
You know, so it's okay to say no. It's okay to, say like yesterday. It was National Day, right?
Yeah.
My sister-in-law they wanted me to come out, have a minum apa. I've been doing so much that
You just cannot.
I know. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? But I would normally say yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, if I go out, I'm gonna be a total bitch,
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So might as well not.
So we gotta know ourselves. So before we start boundaries and we have to know ourselves. So probably before you didn't quite understand who you were.
how to put myself here in this within the boundary. That's it.
Yeah. So that's great. That's so good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Really good for the couple and your family, your kids. Don't tiga, right?
Yeah.
It'd be so hard if you were not together, really.
Right. And different countries.
Yeah, how would that work? Oh, forget it. Don't think about that.
And one thing you have to know is that marriage is not always like you're not always in love with your husband.
Yeah.
Right. So like people, what people think is that you think that this emotion that you have, like that you're in love with your husband, oh, he's my everything, blah blah blah, that it'll last. Marriage takes work. And decide that okay, I'm gonna make it work. Like I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do it. It's not gonna be always in love. Sometimes you just love them, but you're not in love with them. So marriage will be up and down. Don't expect it to be all butterflies because it's not.
It changes. It
changes
evolves.
Exactly. And you know what I felt as well, like when it evolves, I think that love of stability that you feel for your husband is much more deep than how it was initially.
Yeah.
But you have to cross that over. That's the thing. Like you have to do all the hell before you reach to that point. Yeah. But I would not change it any other way because that's
how it goes, right? There's no smooth sailing anything.
Exactly. It's not a thing.
So
it's work.
The ones who are going through all this difficulty, you just have to go through it. Like don't run away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think running away.
Yes, that's the.
Just living with the sadness atau
That's true.
Nothing changes if that's what you're doing to the back. Yeah. So I did do a podcast before this regarding divorce.
Right.
Which, for some people, it is a best way.
Yeah.
Which that's why I always tell my clients, it's fine. Divorce is not a bad thing.
Right.
Sometimes it is the best thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So before you come to that decision, we got to understand ourselves, how the situation is. Right? This is where you come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you decide divorce, try everything. Do everything you can. And the ones who are running away from the troubles of marriage, I feel it's prolonging the down, that's what I feel like.
Right.
You're just prolonging without any effort.
Exactly.
What do you have? What have you? If we're not trying to help it, then we're just living like this.
Right. Correct.
If you're happy living like that,
yeah.
Okay lah. But you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't feed yourself, right? This is the thing.
Right.
So, oh my God, do you have any last advice for these couples who are? Can I say suffering? They're feeling unhappy in their marriage. What would be your advice?
For me, it's still going to individual therapy. You need to find help for yourself, right? Finding help for yourself is the most important thing. And then from there, that's when you meet your marriage counseling. Otherwise, I think if we just directly go to marriage counseling, macam tani hindi ready ba? We don't know ourselves jua. So how can we work on the marriage if we're not ready.
Yeah. I think that's true. Like for me, what I've been doing, which I think now I have to reevaluate how I do it. I used to see the husband and the wife separately, same counselor.
Oh no, no, not that,
That's why
no.
I was here, this side.
Because atu dia, they're not objective dia.
Oh, yes, I think I
Mm.
will change that. Okay,
Yeah.
change strategy. I'm gonna elect. I'm gonna have to suggest other therapists to take one of
Yeah.
the partner
Exactly.
and then come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for individual first, then maybe come for counseling,
Yeah.
marriage, and something
And
like that.
the timing needs to be good as
The
well.
right
timing.
right?
Timing matters as well sometimes.
Yes.
So if one ready, one not ready, you cannot.
Little stuff.
Has to be both.
Thank you. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Because it's hard because marriage counseling is very different one in Brunei.
I know.
It's just not really commonly done.
Same, Pakistan also. They're not commonly done.
Okay. Yeah. Ada very
Taboo lah, ada taboo this around this. Yes. I
wow.
think without marriage therapist, I don't think my marriage will work. That's what I'm saying.
For sure, huh?
Without it, cannot.
And your situation lagi banyak kan take into consideration kan. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I forgot to mention she is Bruneian. Okay, and she flew off to left your family to go to Pakistan.
Yeah.
And lives there, and now she speaks fluent Urdu. You wouldn't know she's Bruneian.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of settling in and
Yeah.
wow. Alhamdulillah. So your marriage is how you see it now is good.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yes.
So okay, guys. I hope this podcast helps the ones who need to hear. You know, and if you want advice on marriage counseling in Brunei, just let me know. There are places. There are places.
Yes.
Here. Maybe you have to go to private, yeah.
But I heard price wise as well, nice expensive as well. So people, not everybody can afford it.
Yeah, not everyone can afford it, but well,
in Pakistan we have a therapist that do this like pro bono.
Ada.
For example, they have like 10 clients, they'll give 2 pro bono. So it means that giving 2 for free ataupun at a lower price. They know that that person cannot afford.
Right.
So that's also a good thing for therapists to have pro bonos. At least you know that you're giving back something.
Yeah.
Right.
Consider. Yeah. It does. I mean, I do recall when I first started, I was doing a promotional free.
Right.
I was like, ramai setiap hari.
Yeah.
Put a charge, kurang tiap.
benar. Atau selalu orang ambil promosi tu.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah,
giving this pro bono is also very gonna help for you as well.
I will consider. Okay, thanks for coming on to this podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I managed to catch you before you fly away. I thought you were flying soon by.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, and I will talk more about this.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everyone. See you again, and thanks for joining my podcast. Bye.